Hi guys, welcome back to video number 2 with Adam Chambers, Storytelling with Adam. You know Adam from the previous video. If you haven't seen it, check it out, it's linked right here. Today we'll be talking about Los Angeles, the city, the industry, Hollywood, living in LA, acting in LA. But yeah, I'm super excited about this because this is a very important topic. Let's talk storytelling with Adam about Los Angeles.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Today's topic, LA, it's a very big topic, I think, very important for us as actors and filmmakers and theater people. How long have you been living in LA?
I've lived in LA for over 18 years.
Wow.
This year was like my half and half. Like I lived half my life somewhere else and half of my life here. It's my number one lesson rule when I start teaching a class on day one. As I say, if you want to start first things first doing this big picture, you have to learn how to love living here in the city of LA. It's not hard to do that. It just, some people make it very challenging on themselves.
Yeah. What do you think is the best part about LA? Don't say the Chargers.
The best part about LA, it's the most open-minded place I've ever been in the world.
Nice.
By a landslide.
So how did you feel when you first moved to LA? You're originally from San Diego, right?
Yeah.
So still California, it's not that
Still,
far.
yeah, and I'm still Southern California, so
Yeah.
it's pretty even with my sort of general vibe as far as things go. That part was not so shocking. LA's just really big, and it's a lot bigger than people realize. You know what I mean? New York is everything sort of condensed and put together. A lot of big cities are kind of that way too. There's like an area where everything is.
It's a
LA's
center.
really spread out.
Yeah. You mentioned it a little bit, how important it is that you like LA when you move here. Why do you think is it so important if you want to work in Hollywood as an actor?
You got to think about big picture here. The idea of I always use the example of going camping. When you go camping, the first thing you do or should do is set up your tent.
Yeah.
Set up where you're going to be. Set up like your home base.
Yeah.
Otherwise, when it rains or something bad happens, you are not prepared.
Yeah.
And so having this like happiness of where you are when you're not acting, because you're just not going to be acting all of the time.
Yeah.
So having sort of like your home, and I always tell people, like, encourage people to make sure that even if they live in a really small studio, make sure that place is like something that provides you like peace and joy and happiness. And I just recently had a student come up to me and be like, you said that to me, and I went home that next day and I really thought about it, and and he showed me, he's like, so I redid everything in my studio apartment.
What do you think is the most reasonable, is the best way to approach a career in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, an acting career in this city, in this film industry?
Yeah. So again, there's like this base that you have to get yourself like situated on, and it's funny because a lot of students just jump right to, well, I'm going to start acting right away.
Yeah.
And it's like you kind of got to figure out how to live here first. You kind of got to figure out how to navigate that water part of it, and so that you can feel comfortable going in an audition, and that you can afford to go in an audition, that you can afford to book a movie, that you can afford to do these things for free, that you can do theater and all those things.
Yeah.
If you don't have any money, you're not going to be acting.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't mean you have to be rich, but you have to have some sort of job or income or something like that that's going to do that. So moving here first, you kind of got to situate yourself in where you live, what part of town you want to live in, all those things, so that you then can go to the next step, which is then like getting some headshots and doing all that
And
stuff.
starting expanding.
Yeah. And so it really does start there. And this is that like impatient thing that happens.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of students or a lot of people, young actors, try to jump right away to the other step, and they forget that they need to like slow down and actually figure out how to afford life.
Like you said, and then if that rainy day comes and you don't have that shelter, you're going to be very sad. You're going to go to the airport and you're going to fly home and quit.
Very quickly. They're also not trying, I think. They're probably not trying as hard as they may think they are.
That's true, too.
I had a student once who'd lived here for 3 years, and I asked him what he liked about LA the most, and he said nothing. And I was like, that's such a stupid answer. And then I was like, give me something. There's got to be something. There's not one thing. I haven't seen one thing that you like. He's like, no. And then I was like, well, have you been to the beach? And he said, no. And I said, you haven't been to the beach?
It's been here 3 years.
Yeah. I was like, you got to remember, the only reason that LA exists is because of the beach. You know, someone found it a long time ago. I was like, I'm going to live right here.
Yeah.
And then they just moved inland, and now we are where we are. And you're not even going to go look at what the deal is?
Another thing that a lot of people get very confused about when they start moving out here, when they start their acting careers, are typecasting, their brand, and all these things. Why is your type, your brand so important in a film industry like Hollywood, Los Angeles?
Type and or essence or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I like to look at. Some people think it's just like so like degrading or it's racist or something like that. And there's probably elements of truth to some of that.
For sure.
But it's also kind of like your head start.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, nobody knows you. I get like rock stars and musicians and drug addicts and hippies, and I get Jesus and stuff like that, right? You would get Jesus right now too.
Yeah, but I get more. If you're the drug addict, I'm more like the drug, the owner.
You sell the
I
sell.
I have the distribution.
You have the distribution,
Yeah.
right?
That's more mine.
But, yeah, and I'm the one that's like drives the truck and then like brings it to the place. It's kind of the initial sort of head start, and you need to be able to do that. And I agree with you. I think one mistake that a lot of young actors make is like trying to be like, I can do everything. Well, that's cool. You'll get there, and I hope you do. And I think you can still push yourself to do that as well and have that as a goal and like, you know, a thing.
Well, the thing what you said about your essence, the thing is I use the word brand because it's more a marketing term, but I think branding is actually the essence. So I'm on that page with you too, you know.
I think people just get really convoluted on what is...
They get very heavy
about brand or trying
like,
to make a certain type of brand.
Well, the thing is I always use like two companies that are amazing on this. I think Apple is one of them, you know. So Apple is the brand, right?
Right.
So we know that Apple is Apple. And if you think about Apple, you have a very clear picture of what Apple stands for. But then you have MacBooks, you have iPhones, you have iPads, you have all these little different things and types. And I think that's what a lot of people really don't understand about acting is that you can play a lot of different things, but the main thing is that the essence of you is always going to be part of it.
Right.
Like Apple is Apple in iPhone, in MacBooks, in Apple TV or whatever it is. And the same, it doesn't matter if you play like the truck driver delivering drugs or like Jesus hanging somewhere.
Yeah.
The essence of that craziness is always going to be with you. You know?
I mean, you're saying something right now that's actually just like, it's kind of hitting me in a crazy way. You're totally right. The roles that I've done that have been the most successful or the ones that I've enjoyed or I think people have enjoyed the most, the underline of that is sort of this eccentricness and this interesting kind of quirkiness. And then I think about it and it's like, but that's who I am. Blew my mind, Fabricio, just right now.
Nice. Let's go.
I learned something. I thought I was coming to talk, but
wow, I'm very proud right now. I can feel this moment right now.
I am, me too.
Let me enjoy this for a second. Well, I think it has to do with like my background too, you know. In Switzerland, things are very business oriented,
right.
You know. So you learn a lot of these things when you're a kid. So if we finish this topic of Los Angeles and Hollywood as an industry on one very important advice that you would give to young actors starting out regarding Los Angeles and the industry, what would it be?
It's not going anywhere. The industry's not going anywhere.
Nice.
So you don't have to feel rushed to be in everything and to do everything.
Yeah.
Take your time, be patient, and that can kind of provide you a sense of relief. If a day goes by or 3 days go by or a week goes by and I don't have an audition, the world is not falling apart.
Unless you're international and after a year you have to leave.
Yes. So it is falling apart for international students.
Awesome. We're at the end for video number 2, Why Acting. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thank you.
It was very, very interesting to hear your opinion once again.
Love it.
Guys, subscribe, hit the bell, and comment below if you have any questions. We're super willing to answer those if there's anything that we can do for you. And I always love to have Adam back. I can just put him in a chair and just be like, talk.
Hey,
it will be fine, you know.
Hey.
So, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Adam, for being here.
Of course.
See you soon.